Okay, let's work through some more examples on solving systems of equations by substitution. Let's say they gave us the two equations, y equals 2x and y equals 0. All right, so substitution, basically we're looking for a way to plug in for a variable in the other equation. But if we look at this one, we have y equals 0. So y equals a number. Well, that's nice. Whenever that happens, they give you like y equals 0 or x equals 0 or y equals 1. They give you one of the variables equaling a number. You say thank you, because in your final answer, that is going to be your y value. That one is, because it's y equals 0. So this one, y can't equal anything other than 0, so they have to cross at some 0 point. So now that we know that y equals 0, now we can plug that in everywhere we see a y in the other equation. So we get 0 equals 2x. Divide both sides by 2. 0 divided by 2 is 0. So x equals 0. So our final answer on this one is 0, 0. All right, let's try another one. Let's try x minus 3y equals negative 10, and 3x plus 7y equals 34. All right, so looking at these two equations, we don't have one of the equations already solved for one of the variables. But that's when we look at it and say, well, can we solve one of these equations for the variable pretty easily? Well, sure, because if you look in this top equation, we have this x, just a singular x, and the only number in front of it is a 1 because every single letter by itself has a 1 in front of it. So it's already by itself, 1x, that's what we want. So we can solve for that pretty easily. So let's solve for that. So we're going to add 3y to both sides. We're going to x equals 3y minus 10. So now we've solved for our variable. We know what x equals. It equals 3y minus 10. So we're going to take this 3y minus 10 and we're going to plug it in everywhere we see an x in the other equation. So if we do that, we're going to have 3 times, again, parentheses, very important, 3y minus 10 plus 7y equals 34. Now we have one equation, it's all in one variable, so we can solve for y. So we have this 3 we need to distribute, so we have 9y minus 30 plus 7y equals 34. 9y plus 7y, always combine like terms before you start swapping sides. So 9y plus 7y is 16y minus 30 equals 34. Now we're going to add 30 to both sides, so we get 16y equals 64. Divide both sides by 16, we get y equals 4. All right, so now we know what y equals. And it's tempting, it's really tempting to go up here and plug y back into that equation. However, I do not recommend that. I do recommend take one of your original equations and plug it in for y. So we're going to take the original equation. Let's take, I'm going to do x minus 3y equals negative 10. And I'm going to have x minus 3 times 4, negative 10, equals negative 10. X minus 12 equals negative 10. X equals 2, because we add 12 to both sides, so we get x equals 2. So our final answer is 2, 4. X, y. And we could check this by just plugging it back into our calculator. So plug in x and y in each equation, solve in your calculator, make sure that it checks out.